Thanks for joining us here at Book Blather. If you're new here, I'm Dave. This is Olive, and we try to have a little fun while we mostly talk about books to help spread the joy of reading. If you're not new here, you know that we haven't posted a video in about 4 weeks. So we've been around on the live stream. If you don't know, we do a live stream every other Thursday evening with our friend Gareth over at Book Songs and Other Magic. If you haven't come by, you should. It's a good time. We always have fun. So we've been around for those, but we haven't posted a recorded video in about 4 weeks. So we're sorry about that. In the beginning of 2024, we said that we were going to be posting much more frequently. I think we've been pretty good about that this year, right, Olive? But we did fall down a couple times where we kind of disappeared for a couple weeks. So that's just that when that happens, it's just because life gets a little crazy. If you see us disappear for a couple weeks, it is not because we have left BookTube. We are never leaving BookTube. We love this thing. We will be here doing this until we die. It is just that every once in a while, life gets a little crazy, and it happens. So we're sorry about that, but easing back in here now. So we want to tell you where we are with our reading. So we have been reading, and we want to do very late December wrap-up because we're already reading new books in January. So for December, in early December, we had read in the spirit of the Victorian tradition of reading ghost stories at Christmas time. We had read a couple of Victorian Christmas ghost stories. And we reviewed those back in December, so we'll link that below if you haven't seen it and you're curious. Later in December, we did a few other things. We spent a bit of time reading a somewhat substantial science fiction novel, which I think we will do in a separate video after this one. But we also read some Christmas stories, right? Olive, you can't be falling asleep already. Come on. We did read a few Christmas stories. And so for anybody that's interested in still hearing about Christmas stories at this point in time, I read a couple, Olive read a couple. So we'll tell you about those real quick. So I read a couple of Charles Dickens Christmas stories. And so if you know the famous A Christmas Carol that Charles Dickens published in 1843, which most people are familiar with, formed a significant part of this country's Christmas heritage. But what a lot of people don't know is that Charles Dickens also wrote many, many other Christmas stories. We've read and reviewed some of those. We've done some fireside readings of some of those, which I'll also link below if I remember in case you're interested. But he had a publication called Household Words, and actually annually he would put out in the Christmas edition, he would put out another Christmas story. So we read a couple of those. You can find the ones that we read. You can find in this volume. This is far from everything, but this is the Penguin Classics edition of Charles Dickens' A Christmas Carol and Other Christmas Writings. So the first one we read was A Christmas Tree. And so this was first published in Household Words in 1850. And this was a nice story about reminiscing, really. It starts out with this older guy, and he sees a bunch of children all excited around the Christmas tree. And he starts to reflect on a Christmas tree from his childhood. And so he starts to have these memories. He sees his old Christmas tree with all these different ornaments on it. And so then he starts to tell a bunch of different remembered stories that are all based on these different ornaments, tree ornaments and Christmas decorations that, each one provokes a different one of these stories that he recollects. And so it was nice, it was a nice, very Christmassy mood story tale, and it had a lot of these little different mini stories in it, and just a lot about memory and reflecting and what different things that he remembers from his past and during the Christmas season. So it was a nice story. Then we also read, what was it called? What Christmas is as we grow older. And so that was a very short one, and that was about an older guy that is reflecting on how the meaning of Christmas changes over time, and how, when you're a child, it's a lot of excitement about, about just the gifts and all the festivities and everything like that. And as you grow older, it becomes more of another thing. Again, it's like the other one, a little bit of reflection, and like on the types of things that have happened and meant something during the Christmas season, and how Christmas is always important throughout your life, but for different reasons. When you're younger, it's all this excitement about the Christmas magic and presents and stuff. And when you're older, it's a time on, basically, reflecting on love and loss, and, what those type of emotions that impact you during the holiday season. So it was very short, but it was also a good story. Okay. Then next thing we read was a horror Christmas novella, and this was called I Found Christmas Lights Slithering Up My Street by Ben Farthing. And I think this was in 2023. He's written a number of these sort of little wacky horror novellas. I think one is called I Found Puppets Living in My Walls, and there's a few like that. And so it's what you would expect. It was fun. I mean, it wasn't phenomenal, you know what I mean? But it was creepy and it was Christmassy. And it was based on this young boy. He was like 11 or 12, and he lives at the end of he lives in a not, somewhat isolated house at the end of a neighborhood by the woods, and his family no longer celebrates the Christmas season because they lost his daughter. I think the previous year, his younger sister, they lost her. And so his parents, really dismal about the Christmas season now, and he still loves Christmas, and he wants to bring that back. So he's got this plan that some of these houses are at the end of the street are still being constructed. So he has this plan to put up Christmas lights on one of the houses and show it to them and make them kind of rekindle the Christmas spirit in them. But he finds, he has two buddies, and they're the three main characters in this story. And they find these Christmas lights slithering across the street, and they're coming out of the sewer. And then, I don't want to give too much away, but then he goes and looks in the sewer, and there's some other stuff down in the sewer, and they're really creepy. And of course, this expands, and so him and his friends, they move through the neighborhood, going house by house, trying to warn people, and this thing is spreading, and all sorts of things happen with the Christmas decorations and the Christmas lights, which I don't want to give away, but it's a pretty cool horror-y, Christmas-themed horror story. So, it's not a Pulitzer winner in terms of writing. Also written pretty much from the perspective of this young boy who's, like I said, 11 or 12 years old. So that's probably part of it. You know what I mean? It's written in a somewhat juvenile way, but it was good. Not phenomenal, but it was good. It was good. If you want a Christmas read that's got a horror element to it, I mean, this one's a good Christmas horror novella. I've read Christmas horror novellas that were not this good, so it was a fun one. And then Olive read a couple of Christmas stories, right, Olive? Didn't you read? You read a couple of Christmas stories, and this was in Olive's preferred genre of Christmas books, right? You read the first one you read was On Santa's Lap, and this one was, I knew I'd forget this one was published in 2022 by Seven Rue and Cassie Hargrove. And this was about, we've got a Santa, and he's like 60, and he's working as a Santa in a mall. And then he's got, there are some elves, but there's this particular elf that is very attractive, and he notices her because she's very kind to the children that come to see him, even though he's like a little bit grumpy about the holiday. And so they end up talking, and turns out she's very mature. She's like 1/3 of his age. She's like 21 or something. She's going to school. She's got a good head on her shoulders, very mature, very smart. So they get something to eat. They start, chatting, and they respect each other, and she likes him even though he's 3 times her age. And so she spends some time on Santa's lap. Right, Olive? That's pretty much what happened. So you know what kind of book it is. It is what it is. It wasn't great. It was just, Olive said, you just said it was like just your average Christmas smut tale, right? She's becoming a little bit of an expert on them. So, and then you read another one, right? What was the other one that you read? What was the other one you read? Why are you getting so sleepy here? She read, Elfed by Ginger Kane. And this one, I think, was published, 2021? This was published in 2021. So this one was called Elfed, not to be confused with Elfed Against the Wall, which is a different book. But this one is, hey, what did you say? You said you liked this one better, right, Olive? You said you liked this one better? This was about a girl. Yeah. So this was about a girl that comes home from an office Christmas party. And she had been embarrassed because she's single, and they gave her basically, her Secret Santa gift was basically like a sex toy. But it came with this little elf. And, so she gets home and she's going about her business, and then all of a sudden the elf is missing from the counter. And let's just say that, there are stuffed animal elves, and there are sort of, sex demigod elves, let's put it that way. And so there's that, and there's the toy that she got, and you could see the cover of the book. So it escalates pretty quickly. It was written pretty well, though, Olive, right? You said it was written pretty well, quality writing wise. And yeah, Olive said it was good fun if you're into that sort of thing. So both of those books that she read, On Santa's Lap and Elf, they were both very short. If you're looking for a Christmas smut, they were both fine. They were phenomenal, she said. But she said they were both fine if you're just looking for a quick, fun read. So that's it for our Christmas stories that we read in December. And so, like I said, we spent a good time reading a sci-fi novel by probably our favorite science fiction author, recent one, and we will be talking about in the next video. So, we didn't tell you the Christmas gifts that we got. Should we do that now? Yeah, we also got, we got a few Christmas gifts. So we got A Christmas Carol 2, Rise of the Juggernauts by Nicholas Kaminsky. So this we got from our regular viewer, commenter, and friend Erie was kind enough to send this to us for Christmas. And so we are in the middle of it, about a third of the way through it. So we'll be done with this soon. As you can see, it's not that very long. This is just a crazy, it's just like a ridiculous, bizarre, quote-unquote sequel to A Christmas Carol. This is about little Tim when he's older. But there's robots and karate and all sorts of stuff in it. Okay, then from our good friend Gareth over at Book, Songs, and Other Magic, our partner in crime for the live show that we do every other Thursday called Is This Thing On? Gareth sent us a Christmas gift, Kings of the Wild by Nicholas Eames. So this is a fantasy novel. I think the second one is out and the third one is on its way. I don't know. So I don't know too much about this. I think it's sort of like grimdarky, like Joe Abercrombie style, but I don't know. I haven't read it yet, but I do know it's like one of Gareth's favorites. He really loves this book, which is why he sent it to us. So thank you very much, Gareth, and we are looking forward to getting into this as one of our next fantasy reads. Then from my daughter, who's also a real bookhound, she, that's very funny. And you read the Fourth Wing books. Like we have to get to those just because it's such a cultural phenomenon. Just like like we had no interest in reading 50 Shades of Grey, but like certain things you have to like check them out because the hysteria. So we'll check out Fourth Wing. My daughter was like going nuts waiting for this book 3, Onyx Storm, I think it's called. She was like waiting, like Amazon came like 9 o'clock at night. She's like waiting at the door, like it's here. Opens the door and blah blah blah. So anyway, she's a big reader like me. She's actually publishing that daughter. But so she gave me a couple books for Christmas. First one is Anna Kavan, Ice by Anna Kavan. This is a Penguin Classics version she got me. I just started this one, so we're a little bit into this one too. We're reading a couple things at the same time. That's the way we've been doing stuff lately. And this is sort of a dystopian sort of apocalyptic sort of thing, where like the world is it's like a new ice age sort of thing, but it's there's this guy trying to find this girl that has been taken, and so there's this sort of anyway, so that's we'll review that when we're done reading it. And then my daughter also got us this Crime and Punishment by Dostoevsky. I had to look to see it was by Dostoevsky. So I didn't have to look. I don't know why I did that. So we already have this, but I had wanted this because this is the Penguin Classics version. This is like, I showed that one from Dracula too. They do some phenomenal Penguin Classic versions. So let's just look at this. It's got the deckled pages, but it's got these French flaps, and look at the artwork on that. Isn't that amazing? And then on the back, it wraps around. On the back, there's all that art and dialogue back there. I hope you can see that okay. But yeah, this is beautiful. And actually, I never, like I said, I have this, but I never finished this book. This is one of those books that I started in my 20s when I wasn't as avid of a reader. And so I started it, and I only got halfway through, and I never finished it. And so I've wanted to read it. I wanted to pick back up, start over many years, and now I will, because I got this Penguin Deluxe version. And so that was it for the books. We also got some bookish things for Christmas. We got a set of these nice metallic bookmarks, like of this theme. You paused here. See that? That cute. And we also got this. We got our North Pole Book Club. We drink a lot of coffee, so we got our North Pole Book Club coffee mug. So that was our bookish Christmas stuff. So, okay, so that's it now. So, okay, so that's all the Christmas stuff. We're done with Christmas stuff, and then we'll be back with regular stuff. Books we acquired, books we've been reading. So we got reviews, hauls, all that kind of stuff to do. So maybe we'll even do a tag or two. Should we do some tags? It's been a while. People have been tagging us. So, all right. Thanks for sticking around, guys. Sorry for the hiatus there, but we're back in action. We'll see you again very soon. If you've read any of these books, or you want to read any of these books, you want to let us know something that you read for Christmas that you thought was good, worth reading, because we always read Christmas-themed stuff at Christmas time. We'll do it next year. Or something else that you're reading in January that you're excited about. Let us know in the comments below. We always love to hear from you. If you don't have anything substantive you want to say, you can always leave Olive a puppy emoji, because she does always like to see those, right? What's going on? You've been absent for a couple weeks now. People want to see you, Bubs. People want to see you. Yeah. So thanks so much for watching. We'll see you again very soon. But in the meantime, take care of yourselves and each other, and we'll see you next time.